Hi everybody, it's Coach Shelly here. I've got a how-to video on how to use a handstand and cartwheel mat that we bought from our local department store. Here's a couple of videos that we came up with that you can try at home. Make sure when you're trying at home you have full supervision by an adult. Here I am, Coach Shelly. And here is our first skill, front support. Make sure to have a straight back with your hips open, rounded chest, and looking directly down at the ground with your shoulders over your wrists. Next up, we have a front support to downward dog. This is to open up our shoulders into a handstand position from our hips to our hands. Remember that straight back and hips open. Then push your weight backwards so there is now a straight line between your wrists and your hips. Continue doing this, making sure that you hold each position for at least 5 to 10 seconds. Next skill we have is a dog with a sore leg. First of all, we have our lunge position, pushing all of your weight forwards onto your front leg, kicking up with straight legs and trying to keep your alignment nice and straight. Don't forget to finish back in that lunge position. You can do this activity a few times, squeezing your shoulders through your ears and trying to keep your alignment as straight as possible while transferring your weight from your feet to your hands. Our next skill that we have is our plank position. This is a side plank position where you lift your hips into alignment, trying to make sure you have a straight body and that you're not rotating. Hold this position for at least 10 seconds. Then you can lift one leg and hold this for 10 seconds. Try not to rotate your hips or drop your hips towards the floor. As an extra challenge, I added in some leg lifts. You can do this as well. Try only to move your leg and not your entire body whilst you're lifting. Our next activity is our pike handstand. I'm going to pretend this box is a wall. You're going to put your hands down and your feet against the wall and try your best to have your alignment between your hips and your wrists as straight as possible. We want to make sure our hips are over our wrists in our handstand. You can also do this activity by lifting one leg into a full handstand while still resting it up against the wall. Remember that alignment because it's very important to keep your balance. Then with one leg at a time and try and get all the way up to a normal handstand. As you can see, my leg is not quite up to a full handstand, so I've got a bit of practice to do. The next drills we're going to look at are cartwheel drills. This is the setup we used, having 3 different angles to land on, a 90 degree, 135 degree and 180 degree angle. This is a good visual way for those who are still learning how to do their cartwheels. First of all, we have the 90 degree cartwheel. Again, we want to make sure that we're transferring our weight from our feet to our hands in a nice straight lunge position. Once you kick up, try and make sure you're looking towards your hands and stretching through your shoulders as you kick over. You can then progress to making the 135 degree angle, trying to make sure we land on the line. Push through your lunge position, transferring your weight from your feet to your hands. Push up through your wrists and shoulders as you kick your legs all the way up and around to land back in your lunge. Keep your eyes and head neutral as you're landing. The more flexible you are in these skills, the easier it's going to be to kick up and over. This is 180 degree cartwheel with a hand turn. Keep your eyes looking at your wrists, squeezing your shoulders as you take off and land, and finish in your lunge position, looking at the direction that you just came from. Our next drill is a handstand against the wall. We're going to lift our feet up into a handstand position and then weight transfer from side to side. First of all, straddle your legs. The further apart they are, the easier it will be. Lean your weight to one side and push into the ground while lifting the other side. You can repeat on the other side, making sure to keep your alignment and your shoulders squeezing, and continue. This is a tricky skill, so don't be afraid if you can't do it at first. Our last drill is a cartwheel static hold. Holding your cartwheel position with one foot resting against the wall and keeping your body alignment. Make sure that your hips are open and your shoulders are squeezing your ears. This is probably the hardest skill of all of them. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this interesting and tune in for our next tutorial.